How you doing? I'm Darren with Ash Kickin' Barbecue. If this is your first time to the channel, then welcome. If you've been here before, then welcome back. Today, we're talking about my new smoker. This is the Pellet Pro 2300 or the Pellet Pro Vertical from Smoke Daddy Inc. Now, full discretion, the fine folks over at Smoke Daddy Inc. did send me this pellet grill to do some reviews on and some cooks on, but they are not paying for this video or any future videos, so all thoughts, opinions, and reviews are of my own. Now, I got this last night, I got it put together, and I'm super excited to jump into it. I haven't fired this up yet. It was raining yesterday, so we're gonna do the initial burn-in, and I'm gonna give you a little tour of what this cooker has to offer. I can tell you it's an absolute tank. It was like 288 pounds in packaging, and this thing is all double walled, has a 35-pound hopper here, and made in America PID controller. So we're gonna go through and kind of just look a little bit further into detail and just do the burn off, and you know I'm gonna have some future cooks coming up, so if you haven't already, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss them. So let's jump in and take a look at what makes this pellet cooker so awesome and so unique. Okay guys, first off here you can see we have 3 temperature gauges for reading the temperatures throughout the entire chamber of the cooker, which is absolutely awesome. We have some really nice latches here, and then over here is our reverse style exhaust, so the smoke is actually going to come through, go down, come up, and out, which is very awesome, very cool. We have 18 gauge steel double walled throughout, so that's going to be really nice for the Midwest winters. And this also has 10 cubic feet of cooking area. Now, opening up the door here, you can see that we have a nice gasket in here. So these are the new redesigned 21 by 20 stainless steel grates. You can see they have little handles to grab onto and pull them out. And now this is actually the baffle plate to create 2 separate zones here. So if you wanted to put this in right here in place of a grate, you'd have a cooler zone up here. And there are 7 slots for grates in here. So you can buy 3 more racks, get them in there, and you have plenty of room to cook. So down below here is where you access your grease tray, and this comes out nice and easy right here. I have a pan in there for easy cleanup. And you also have room for storage or maybe keeping something a little bit warm in there. So that's very nice, very well made, nice latches on here. We also have 2 casters on this side and 2 in place wheels on the left side, which is really great. This thing moves with ease, so that's very, very cool. Now let's check out some other features on this. All right, so down here you can see Smoke Daddy's exclusive PID controller, which maintains a temperature within 5 to 10 degrees of the set point, and it has a temperature range of 160 to 450 degrees in 5-degree increments. So that's really exciting. I'm super excited to see how that works. So now let's go on and check out the hopper here. Okay guys, now looking at the hopper, you can see here that is a 35-pound hopper, and I have a 20-pound bag of oak pellets in there right now, and still plenty of room in there, so looking forward to filling that up. And with that PID controller, I'm anticipating it to be very, very fuel friendly. Okay guys, now coming around to the back side of the hopper, you can see we have a plug-in back here, and what that's for is we can go ahead and plug in the convection fan on the top of the cooker, and that's going to allow even heat disbursement throughout the cooker should you choose to use that. Obviously you can't use that when you have your heat baffle in to have 2 separate cooking zones, but that's a really nice feature. We're not going to have to run 2 extension cords to run this cooker. And then also right here we have our pellet release that allows the pellets to come out here for changing them if you're into changing your pellets for different flavors. That's super nice, super unique. Just put a little tray down there, pull that, dump your pellets out. So very, very cool. And you can see that this is our Convection Fan Controller, and what's going to be nice about this is, especially for cold smoking cheese, we can just turn that on. We have no heat on, put a pellet tube in the bottom, and that's going to allow all that smoke and everything to kind of penetrate throughout the chamber of the cooker, and just even for low and slow temperatures, allowing even cooking throughout the cooker. Really nice. You're obviously not going to be able to use that with the heat baffle in, but super, super nice feature, and I love that they have this option available. Okay guys, and as I stated, these are the new 21 by 20 stainless steel grates. Super quality, super awesome. They do come all the way out, and like I said, the old cookers did have spots for 4 racks. This has spots for 7. So just to give you an idea of how much room you'll have between each rack, if you go ahead and put this in there, it's a pretty decent amount of room. You're able to fit a lot of racks of ribs on there for sure. Obviously, if you have a pork butt or brisket, you're probably going to need a little bit more space in between there, or you can butterfly the pork butt and definitely fit it on there. But super awesome, super cool. And if you guys want to see a video on how to put this thing together, I will link either up top or down below in the description. my buddy Jeff Ricer's video over at Dead Broke Barbecue, Wisconsin. He does a great job with these assembly videos. I just don't have it in me, being a one-man crew here and everything else. So I went ahead and put this together last night. I haven't fired it up, but we're going to do that shortly. So I'm going to get these grates out and show you what else we're working with. Okay guys, and I just wanted to show you, this is your R2d probe. That's where you're going to be getting your temperature reading from. I love that it's in the center of the cooker, and I love that it protrudes out this way in between the grates. I know I'm going to get some very accurate and great temperature readings with that R2d probe right there. So down here, this is our drip tray. You can see if I take this out, it's got a little lip right there it sits on, and then it drips down into that trough right there, and it runs out down into that aluminum tray that I have down below. Here we have our heat deflector. We'll go ahead and take that out, and you can see that is a clean burn pot, never had a single fire in it. And I also want to show you one thing here. Folks over at Smoke Daddy Inc. also sent me this, their Heavy D, and this is a heat diffuser that you can put wood chunks in, and this will just sit right over like this. And what that's going to allow is me to burn actual wood in my pellet cooker to get more of a smoke flavor. If you're someone who's been struggling with getting the smoke flavor you're looking for, I highly recommend looking into those. Okay guys, I think it's about time we get this thing fired up and see how it does. So the first thing we're going to do is hit our on button. And now you can see it's in standby mode. What this means is that it's on, but the hot rod inside is not on. In order to get this thing going, it's not going to do anything until we set our temps on here, but we have never had pellets in this burn pot, so we want to go ahead and hit the feed button, and this is going to continuously feed the pellets, and then we're going to let that go until we see them drop into our burn pot. So we're just going to sit and wait for that. Okay guys, while we're waiting for the pellets to dump in here, I did go ahead and spray this down with some Pam just to go ahead and get a good seasoning on here. But I did want to show you up here, that is our convection fan. So that's going to allow even smoke and heat disbursement. Also up top here, this is our daisy wheel. So if we need to let some heat out, we can go ahead and do that. That's another awesome option to have. So very, very cool of them to think of that. Okay, you can see we have some pellets dumped into the burn hot pot. We're going to go ahead and hit that feed button again because we have them dumping in, and it's going to continuously feed if we don't hit it again. So let's go ahead and hit that button. All right, so we're going to go ahead and hit feed to stop the feed process. You can hear the fan kicked on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set, just for reference here, low smoke, smoke mode. This is automatically 270, and high is just letting her rip. Now we can go ahead and adjust on the controller here in 5-degree increments. So I'm just going to go ahead and set my temperature for 250 degrees just because I want to go ahead and let this thing fire up and kind of slow bake in there. So we're going to let it run at 250 for a little while, and then we'll go ahead and fire it up and get our seasoning going. Awesome. So while this thing's firing up, I'm going to go ahead and get the grates sprayed down with Pam just to get everything seasoned, and my deflector and my drip tray and all that stuff. So I'll bring it back when this thing's rolling. Okay guys, you can see we have some smoke rolling. This thing is really close to taking off. Once it does, we're going to go ahead and get all of our shelves and everything put in here, and I'll bring you back then. Okay guys, you can see we have all of our grates and our baffle plate in there. It's rolling. We're going to get this closed up and see how long it takes to get up to temp. Now obviously I do not have the convection fan going in here because I'm seasoning it, but you can see it's on, it's rolling. We're at 112 degrees right now. So I'm going to cut it off, and I'll bring you back when we're up to temp and let you know how long it's been. Hey guys, it's been about 3-4 minutes, and this thing's already up to 251 degrees. I know it's kind of hard to see on camera there, but I love the way that this controller talks to the fan and gets it up to temp. Now let's go over and check and see if we have any smoke coming out. I would say that we have some smoke coming out. That's some nice clean smoke right there. So we're going to let this go for a half hour, and then I'll bring you back and we'll kick it up to 350 and let it go another half hour and just kind of do a slow burn on this. So we'll see you guys in a half hour. Okay guys, I did just go ahead and bump this up to 350 degrees. We let it run for a half hour at 250, and this thing stayed between 250 and 259 degrees the entire time, so it's staying true. I just changed it to 350 and we're already up to 275. And even our temperature gauges on here, they're going up now because I turned up the heat, but the top two were at about 250 and the bottom one was at about 200, which is expected. I mean, you're going to need to do some rotating on your racks on any cooker for even cooking, but you can see those things are staying true right there. So we're going to let this go for another half hour and I'll bring you guys back. Okay guys, and before we shut down the cooker, I just wanted to show you this cover that came with the Smoke Daddy Pellet Pro 2300. That is a quality cover, super weatherproof, super waterproof, and that was included with it. It's got their sweet logo on it, so very, very nice feature, and very nice of the folks over there at Smoke Daddy Inc. to include that. Okay guys, and I just wanted to show you here, we do have some really nice seasoning on our drip tray. Everything's looking good. So we let this thing run at 350 for a half hour. Now we are going to get her shut down. Now in order to get her shut down, all we're going to do is hit the off button. You can see it says 15 minutes. It's going to go into a 15-minute cool down cycle. So we're going to let this thing cool down, and I'm going to give you some final thoughts. Okay guys, so my initial first impressions of this cooker is it's absolutely wonderful. It's everything they promised it would be. The PID controller on there is an absolute home run. That thing is phenomenal. So I'm not the best at filming these burn-off videos, and I don't have an assembly video on this, but if you'd like to see it, I'll go ahead and link my buddy Ricer's videos down below. He has an awesome in-depth burn-in video, and he has an awesome assembly video on this. And I'm also going to go ahead and link Smoke Daddy Inc.'s website down below, so you can go ahead and check it out and get the full specs on this cooker. And they have another cooker and awesome accessories like the Heavy D and a Wi-Fi controller, so be sure to go and check that out. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell, stay safe, and we will see you next time.